My dad had a great sense of direction. 6 days a week, he drove 200 to 300 miles a day from Queens to New Jersey to repair people's furniture on behalf of manufacturers and retailers. If you lived in New Jersey back then and had a broken armchair from Macy's, a lazy boy recliner that wouldn't recline, or a squeaky bed from Bloomie's, my dad was a serviceman who showed up at your home and fixed it, or ordered the parts to come back and fix it, or broke it worse so he didn't have to fix it. Yes, that happens. Evenings in our house, along with a lot of yelling, involved erasing the circles on the Hackstrom map from the prior day's route and looking up and circling all of his stops on a map for the next day. If you met my dad and told him you lived in Passaic or Bergen County, New Jersey, he would ask you which street and then which house. And then he would tell you about your neighbor's furniture problems. He knew every street, every intersection, every alternative route. I have a terrible sense of direction. My in-laws live 10 minutes from us in Atlanta, and more than once after visiting them, I had to call Janet to verbally describe my surroundings and ask her where I was and how to get home. We live a mile from here, and I have to use Waze to navigate from our house to the side street parking behind the playground. I have never dropped off deliveries at our loading dock at the back of the temple because I don't know how to get there. My wife, on the other hand, never gets lost. Janet is also exceedingly patient and kind, but is not particularly understanding of my direction challenges. She shakes her head when I have to use Waze to navigate to a house or store we've been to dozens of times before. And she castigates me when, with Waze still on, I have to ask her if we turn left or right on our way back home before the nav system kicks in. She has let me drive 10 minutes in the wrong direction when I insisted I knew which way to turn, even though she knew otherwise, just to reward my obstinacy. That is when I remind her she's my first wife. That'll cost me. I share all of this with the rabbi, by which I mean not just that I tell him of my navigation woes, which I do, but that we both have the same issue on all dimensions, including the wives. When he and I would go on long walks during COVID as part of his cardiac rehab, sometimes he would set out in a new direction and get utterly lost in Newton, just blocks from his house. Eventually, we would relent to the indignity of pulling out our phones to help us get back and debate whether we would share the debacle with our loving, judgmental wives. Temple Beth Avoda is a place where I never feel lost. You walk in the door, you grab your name tag, and someone gives you a warm welcome so that it always feels like you're home. Whether it is for Shabbat services, Torah class, knitting club, game night, a blood drive, or religious school, we strive to have something for everyone and to ensure that everyone feels seen and accepted as they are. So how did my first year go as Temple president? I've not specifically asked anybody for feedback, but I think I've done a great job. We had 3 priorities for the past year. First, we wanted to improve our educational offerings and engagement. To that end, we spent time evaluating our program, introduced new curricula this school year, and made a significant effort to connect more with parents of all grades. Second, we want to strengthen our temple with new clergy and staff. We were so fortunate to attract Cantor Gabe Snyder, our first ordained cantor at Temple Beth Avodah, who has already had a significant impact on the music we enjoy at services and in our ELC and religious school. We successfully recruited Rebecca Kahn as our Director of K-12 Education, and she's off to a great start and will get us to where we want to be and doesn't need a nav system to get there. We are also delighted to bring on Lori Ginta as our youth coordinator. Third, we want to ensure the financial stability of the temple under the still new membership commitment model. I'm happy to share that we added 31 new members in 5785, bringing us up to 446 households. And we retained 85% of the new members that joined us the year before, our first year under the new model. So, what are we focusing on this year? Continuing Standard McKinsey practice, we have 3 goals. First, continue to normalize and stabilize the membership commitment model. We now have a couple of years of experience and data that we can dig into and understand where we are performing well and where there's room for improvement. We can use this data combined with TBA's financial needs to start to establish quantitative goals and develop tactics to address our shortcomings. Second, we want to successfully manage staff transitions and integrate our new clergy and staff into TBA. We announced last week that after 30 years, Heidi Baker will be stepping down as director of our Early Learning Center in June, transitioning to a part-time role. We are lucky to have Gabby Urita, our current assistant director, who will move into the director role. We also want to make sure that Cantor Snyder, Rebecca, and Lori are getting the resources and support they need to flourish here. Lastly, we have reorganized our lay leadership model under 4 outstanding vice presidents, all of whom you will see up here during these high holy days. We think this new structure better aligns with how we function as a temple today and what we need to support a vibrant community. Should this new executive committee have any unresolvable conflicts, 4 VPs is also a good number for tag team wrestling. The past year has not been without its challenges for us, both professionally and personally. We've been able to see our way through thanks to the extraordinary partnership we have here among the clergy, staff, and lay leadership, and the incredible talent and dedication of the people we have in all of those roles. This past spring, we celebrated Becky's 20 years here, and we can only hope that we have her for 20 more, by which time she will be 45 years old. If you have ideas, suggestions, comments, criticisms, or cash, I will once again be available for scheduled office hours. And the suggestion box remains open and can be found right next to the solar panels on the roof. Until I am told otherwise, I look forward to this next year together. Please stop by often, whether it's for services, learning, music, food, or just fun. As our new model says, the doors are always locked and guarded, and the lights are on motion detector. I wish all of you a year filled with more laughter than crying, more celebrating than hand-wringing, and more running and less limping. Shana Tova.